Most people believe you need to earn six figures to build any serious savings, and if you're earning less than that, saving $100,000 sounds almost impossible. I used to think the same, but here's the truth. I reached that milestone before turning 30, and I never made more than $50,000 a year during that time. No big inheritance, no financial windfall, no winning the lottery. Just consistent habits, a mindset shift, and a plan I stuck to, no matter how boring or unglamorous it sometimes felt. Today, I want to walk you through exactly how I saved $100,000 by age 30 without a high income. I'll show you the 5 pillars that made it possible, how I overcame the mental and financial roadblocks, and how you can do the same, regardless of your starting point. Welcome to WealthWise Daily. Before we dive in, welcome to WealthWise Daily, your go-to channel for smarter money moves, real-world financial strategies, and actionable content that helps you build a better financial future without all the noise. If you're serious about creating wealth, achieving financial independence, or just breaking free from the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're here to grow together, learn together, and build a community where financial literacy is power. Let's get into it. Step 1. Tracking every dollar like my life depended on it. My journey to 100K didn't start with investing. It didn't start with a side hustle or a new job. It started with awareness. When I first looked at my bank statements, I realized I had no idea where my money was actually going. I thought I was good with money because I wasn't living lavishly. But the truth is, I was leaking dollars in places I didn't even notice. Subscriptions I forgot to cancel, impulse food deliveries, unnecessary fees, and mindless spending at stores like Target or Amazon. So I made a rule. If I didn't track it, I didn't spend it. I downloaded a free budgeting app, nothing fancy, and started categorizing every single transaction. I tracked my income too, even if it was just a $20 Venmo transfer from a friend or cash I made selling an old gadget. The point was to be aware of the flow of money in both directions. Over time, this built something more powerful than just data. It built discipline. When I saw how often I was spending out of boredom or emotion, I started making more intentional choices. That $8 latte wasn't just coffee anymore. It was a reminder that every dollar I spend is a dollar I don't invest in my future. Here's the biggest lesson. Most people budget backwards. They look at what's left over at the end of the month and try to save it. I flipped that. I started planning my dollars forward, assigning every dollar a job before I spent it. That shift alone changed everything. Step 2. Automating my savings, so I couldn't sabotage myself. Once I knew where my money was going, I needed a way to make sure my savings plan actually happened. That's where automation came in. I set up an automatic transfer that pulled 20% of every paycheck into a separate savings account the day I got paid. Not the day after. Not once the bills were paid. On payday. It was non-negotiable. At first, it stung. It felt like I had taken a pay cut, but something surprising happened. I adapted. I started living on what was left without feeling deprived. I didn't even notice the missing money after a while because it was never sitting there tempting me in the first place. I also made that savings account hard to access. It wasn't linked to my debit card. I had to log in separately to see it. That friction helped reduce impulse withdrawals. It became my little secret stash that kept growing month by month. There's a common saying, pay yourself first. Most people don't do that. They pay bills, spend money, live life, and then try to save what's left. But here's the truth. There's never anything left. By automating my savings, I forced my future self to win, even when my present self wanted to spend. Step 3. Building extra income streams, even small ones. Let's be real, saving money is powerful, but there's a limit to how much you can cut. At some point, you need to increase the top line. But I didn't do that by getting a big promotion or launching a startup. I did it through stacking small side incomes. I started with flipping things on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, phones, furniture, electronics. I'd buy low, fix or clean the item, and sell high. It wasn't glamorous, but I made a few $100 each month doing this. Next, I picked up freelance writing gigs on platforms like Upwork. I didn't have a degree in English, but I was good at writing blog posts and website copy. I taught a few online classes in areas I had expertise in, and even took on some odd jobs like tutoring and transcription. None of these things made me rich. But here's what they did do. They gave me an extra $300 to $500 a month. Over a year, that was thousands. And I didn't spend it, I saved it all. This side income became my secret weapon. It allowed me to grow my savings faster without relying on a raise. In fact, it gave me breathing room in my main job. I wasn't as stressed about bills because I knew I had multiple streams of income. The biggest shift? I started thinking like a creator, not just a consumer. That changed how I used my time, how I saw opportunities, and how I built momentum. Step 4. Staying debt-free. No matter what, I can't overstate this. Avoiding bad debt was one of the most important accelerators in my journey to 100K. I didn't carry credit card debt. I drove a used car I bought in cash. I avoided buy now, pay later traps. I refused to finance things that didn't increase in value. That meant no brand new iPhones on payment plans, no store credit cards, no borrowing for lifestyle upgrades. Why? Because every dollar I paid in interest was a dollar I didn't keep. And over time, those interest payments could have eaten away at my progress. Now let me be clear, I'm not anti-debt across the board. Strategic debt, like a mortgage or a business loan, can have its place. But for me, while I was building my foundation, the rule was simple. If I couldn't pay cash for it, I didn't need it yet. I chose to delay gratification. I didn't upgrade my car even when I got a raise. I passed on expensive vacations and designer clothes. I focused on peace of mind over appearance. That mental freedom of not owing anyone was worth more than any luxury item. Step 5. Embracing lifestyle lag. Living on less, banking the rest. One of the sneakiest traps in personal finance is lifestyle inflation. You get a raise and suddenly you're eating out more, subscribing to more streaming services, upgrading your wardrobe. It feels like a reward, but it quietly steals your wealth. I called my strategy lifestyle lagging. Here's how it worked. Even when I got raises or side income wins, I didn't upgrade my lifestyle right away. I kept living like I was earning $40,000, even when I started earning closer to $60,000. That gap? Straight to savings. No questions asked. Sometimes it felt weird. Friends were moving into nicer apartments, driving newer cars, or traveling abroad. But I stayed the course. I reminded myself that every dollar I saved was buying my freedom. Not just things, but time, flexibility, options. Over the years, those savings compounded. I invested some, parked some in high-yield savings accounts, and watched my net worth grow quietly in the background. And because my lifestyle was modest, I never felt trapped. I could say no to jobs I didn't love. I could take time off if needed. That's what wealth really is. The ability to make choices without fear. By doing all of the above consistently, I crossed the $100,000 mark by the time I hit 30, and I didn't need to make 6 figures to get there. I just needed a plan, discipline, and a commitment to stick with it through the ups and downs. Here's what helped me stay motivated. I tracked my net worth monthly. Watching the number grow, even slowly, kept me focused. I visualized what I was building, not a bank balance, but a life of options. I forgave myself for setbacks. There were months I overspent, but I always got back on track. That $100,000 wasn't just money. It was proof that financial freedom is possible, even on a modest income. Let's recap the 5 key steps. Track every dollar. Know where your money goes and plan it with intention. Automate your savings. Pay yourself first and make it impossible to forget. Build extra income streams. Even small side hustles can make a big impact. Stay debt-free. Interest payments are wealth killers. Avoid bad debt like the plague. Lag your lifestyle. Don't let your spending rise with your income. Save the gap. If you start with even one of these steps today, you'll be miles ahead of where you were yesterday. And over time, those small decisions compound into real, life-changing wealth. The 100K mindset. Saving $100,000 isn't just about tactics, it's about mindset. You have to believe it's possible even when your paycheck says otherwise. You have to stay focused even when social media tempts you to spend. You have to choose long-term peace over short-term pleasure. This journey is not about deprivation. It's about intention. It's about building a life where money works for you, not the other way around. And if I could do it, so can you. If this video helped shift your perspective even a little, hit that like button. It helps more people discover this kind of content, and we need more people winning with money. If you're serious about changing your financial future, subscribe to Wealthwise Daily right now. This is just the beginning. We've got videos on debt, investing, side hustles, and the habits that separate the broke from the wealthy. Let me know in the comments where you're starting from. Whether you're at zero, in debt, or halfway there, your journey matters. And I want to hear about it. This is your time. Let's make it count. You've got this.